Having a conversation that you should be interested in. We're talking about eSIMs. eSIMs, as you're aware, your SIM card, your phones have SIM cards in them. But these days, there is some sort of transition from the hard SIMs you know of, the physical SIMs you know of, to what they call embedded SIMs. Embedded SIMs. So we're going to spend a majority of the time talking about eSIMs, what they are, how different they are from other, the original SIMs we know, and then also the advantages they come with. And then at the latter part of the conversation with my guest, we will be talking about ESG. ESG. What does it mean? What does it stand for? And why is it important for every company operating across the world, as well as companies operating in Ghana, especially within the telecommunications industry? So I have three powerful guests. When we return, I will be introducing them. Actually, you know what? Let me introduce them now. I'll give them the floor. I think I have a lady and two gentlemen here with me, smiling with energy to talk about eSIM. So, lady first, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself and where you're from.
Thank you, Bobby. Mercy Dawn Akude from Telecom Ghana.
Can you please repeat that for us, Mercy?
Mercy Dawn Akude is the surname.
Okay.
From Telecom Ghana.
From Telecom Ghana.
Thank
beautiful, you. Beautiful. It's not Vodafone anymore. It's Telecom. Telecom Ghana. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then.
I'm Ebanyane Enyima Aka from MTN Ghana.
Wow, that's a lovely name. As well as Mercy's name, lovely. And tell me your lovely name as well.
I'm Suraj Seydumoni.
Wow.
From AT Ghana.
AT Ghana. Wow, nice. So we went and asked for the very best of persons who can, talk about the eSIM topic, because I'm sure you've heard eSIM here, eSIM, especially if you are using maybe an iPhone 14 or so. Those ones came out with only eSIMs, or they're only compatible with eSIM. So we want to first of all go back a little bit and talk about SIMs. What do they stand for? How important are they within the mobile telephony ecosystem? We all take our pins and then insert them when we want to change our SIMs from one network to the other, and gradually they've been growing smaller and smaller over the years. So one of my guests maybe would walk me through the background to the importance of SIMs when it comes to mobile telephone. I don't know whether you would take it or you would take it.
Okay, so for the importance of SIM cards, they enable one to connect your devices to a network so that you will be able to communicate various forms of communication by using the internet, by making calls, receiving calls, or sending SMS. So that is the importance of the SIM card to the device. You can hold the device. If it's not connected to any network, then of course you're not going to have any use for that device. So the SIMs come in to connect you to a particular network so that you will be able to communicate.
Access their services.
Access the services of that particular network. So it can be through SMS, or it can be through voice, making and receiving call, or data. So it is the SIM card that serves as a link between your device and that of the network.
And the network, whether AT, MTN, or Telecel.
Or MTN, yeah.
Or Telecel. Okay.
I mean, the SIM card.
Even before I take your thoughts on that, I hear, is it subscriber identity model? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
That's the meaning.
Exactly. So the SIM card, just to give you a little bit of technicality about it,
we love technicality.
It holds the profile of a subscriber. So when I say profile, the unique identifier, which is the number, sits on these SIM cards. Okay. So that is the only way that you're able to be identified on any network that you are on. So with the SIM card, you are able to connect all these people together through the profile that are sitting on the SIM cards.
So for you could buy a new phone, but for Telecel, MTN, or AT to be able to know that it's this person who's using this phone, you need the SIM card.
Yes.
Subscriber identifier,
which comes with a unique number.
So that's the numbers we have, whether it's 026, 024, 020,
exactly.
All of those. Wow. Now, I mean, when I remember, when I look back, I think they used to be really big.
Yeah.
So let's delve into it in terms of the flow. Now, Mercy, if you can help me.
Sure.
I don't want to say the history, but the timeline
right.
when it comes to the SIM, the subscriber identity model. SIM. Don't forget that. Yes.
So right, Bobby, you're so right. The SIM, which is a subscriber identity model, has transitioned over time.
Okay.
We are told, that in 1991 was when, a German company who was focusing actually on, Visa, credit cards, right?
Okay.
So that's how it started. So the way it was built was almost like the size of your bank card. Your credit card,
the credit card.
Yes, that's how big it started. And it transitioned over time, to the micro, and then today the nano that we have. But it's been a journey, over the years. And obviously the devices also have shrinked over time, because if the SIM is shrinking in size, then obviously the device holding the SIM also shrinks over time. So it's been quite a journey. And if we come back into the eSIM conversation, it was only in 2010 that Apple introduced that idea about eSIM, and it was quite a struggle because the GSMA pushed back on it because security risk and went on and on. But change is always a constant thing, And today we've moved from that phase of having the physical card, and like you both said, it is the link that actually connects the customer, the end user, to the network provider. And that's the only way the network provider can identify the user as being on their network. And also it has the capability of handing over the person from tower to tower, just so the communication is not broken along, whether it's traveling. Yes, whether it's using the data or the SMS or the voice, it's continuous as you move on. So that's how helpful SIMs have been to us. and I think about the fact that there's an added leg of financial transactions, right? Yes. Today we have mobile money, on the same SIM, so it's really expanding the ecosystem, and we can't even do without it these days, right? Connected to your bank accounts and the like. Some of us have our OTPs, from the banks, even connected to the devices. So you need your SMS, which has to be connected to your network operator. And so people can't really live without their MSIDs or their numbers, attached to their phone. So that's how critical, the SIMs have become to us.
Wow. Well, I like the point you made in terms of linking it to the evolution of the mobile phones themselves. Because like you're saying, as the mobile phones have actually shrunk, same way the SIM cards have also, gone down. So
actually, the SIM card, the evolution also has to do with technology. As technology is expanding, the efficiency of building these SIMs, the chips are also increasing. So that's how come you realize that previously when you have a SIM card, you can only hold just a few number of numbers on there. But with time, as the technology is also evolving, we are having more memory in the SIMs and all that. So even for you to even be on 4G, you need a specific SIM that needs to be
the size,
for you to be able to use 4G and the likes. So that kind of evolution also comes with the technology as well. As technology is also improving, the SIM cards itself is also improving.
And maybe to add up to that, right now we have devices that have higher memories. You get it. So the device needs memory that is more important than having a physical SIM in there. So you have to be reducing the size of the SIM card so that the memory aspect of the device could be increased. All we want is to be taking pictures, videos, storing our data, our details here and there. So with evolution of technology here and there, they realize that the size of the SIM is also taking some space. That needs to be reduced so that there will be space for memory to be built into the devices so that we can all enjoy our devices.
So I guess if you're watching us, this is the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications Chamber Dialogue program, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And so the point you're making is really about the real estate, when you go into the phone. And many might be wondering, because I remember the very popular one is almost about, let's say, about less than an inch or something. That's a very popular one. Until we started cutting it down to the nano.
So from the normal SIM card to the micro, then from the micro to the nano. The nano is the smallest one. That has just the plate.
Just the plate,
set it in there. Now we have moved on. No SIM card at all. How are we going to now use our phones? Then the eSIM comes in.
Okay, we're going to go into, but do you remember the first time you actually use a SIM card? I mean, any of you, do you remember, like, if you cast your mind back?
Yeah. For me, I remember, I think I was in Legon, and then my brother handed me a box. So I saw I opened it and I saw a big card, like the ATM card.
Exactly.
You're serious?
Yes, so I had to break it, then you pushed it inside there. Excuse me, I'm from MTN, but it was bars by the time. A very big one, that's you break it, you put it inside there.
Into
the pack,
the phone?
Into the phone. I think it's a Telit phone. The pack, after even taking the SIM card, the pack even becomes a problem for you. You understand? Where to keep it, becoming waste, and then here and there. So, for the evolution of SIM cards all the way to the eSIM that we are coming to talk about, I think
this was which year? This was which year? Do you remember?
That was 2002.
Wow.
I just want to say my first experience with a SIM was 1996 also. And it was the first time I had handled the phone, and it was a huge one.
Wow.
And obviously the SIM was also very huge. You had to slot it inside the device. And I cherished it.
Wow.
Because it was like and I was going to the university at the time, so my brother gave that to me. I think I was using it and probably had advanced, probably with a more sleeker version. So he handed over his, and I cherished it. I think it was the only one that had a device, so anybody could make calls
in your room.
Wow.
Or in the whole hall.
In my what do you call it? My class.
Your class.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's interesting. So 96, 2002.
Oh yeah. 2006 there.
I think it's the same thing for me. That's interesting. So I mean, because of that technology, we've been able to connect, millions and millions of Ghanaians, and they're able to, like, say, text, use services, added services like, mobile money and the likes. Now, down the line, we have transitioned to the eSIM. Now, people are wondering what eSIM. I'm sure even when you speak of eSIMs, maybe it might be within the urban centers. If you go into the rural areas, I don't know whether a lot of people might be aware of eSIM. So talk to me about, I don't know, any one of you can take it, or you can share it. I mean, the background to the eSIM and how, for you, the role it plays now within the mobile telephony ecosystem.
All right. So with regards to eSIMs, which is the embedded SIM, we've already explained so the idea is that the SIM, it's no longer a physical SIM that we see today. It's now actually built into the devices before they come. So there are specific devices that have that capability. And so you can check on your individual device to find out whether you're doing, first of all, it has to be a smartphone.
Yeah. It can be a YAM.
It can be a YAM, yeah.
Come on.
So you can actually check on the device to see whether it is actually capable or ready for an eSIM. Right? And with those SIMs, I mean, the good thing is that you don't have a physical SIM. All you do is to walk into a shop, at least for now, and then you can get registered in the first instance because you are doing the biometric registration. That's another leg that will move as an industry together with the NCA, where you can actually register an eSIM probably without going into a shop if it is possible. But today we are going through the SIM registration platform where the regulator requires us to do the biometric registration as part of the process. So that you have to go through to our shops, and then primarily get your profile downloaded, given essentially to you. And the good thing is that it comes as a QR code, right? All you do is you just scan the QR code and it downloads your profile to you with your MSID, the number that would have been on the physical SIM, the profile that we talked about that would have been on the physical SIM is now actually embedded on the phone itself. The good thing is that from literature we are told that you can hold up to 20
different
eSIMs, but it depends on the device, right? But practically speaking, I think we've seen up to 8. Right, up to 8.
So when you say up to 8, are you saying
8 eSIMs, on a device
from different networks?
Different networks, but you can only use one at a time.
Wow.
That's how it works.
So I can use like one in the morning.
Yes.
And then decide if I want to switch.
But it depends. If your phone have 2 antennas, you can actually use 2 at the same time. So for example, my phone, I'm having 2.
It looks like a Pixel.
Yeah, it's a Pixel phone. I have an eSIM and I have a physical SIM.
Exactly.
So
same here.
So like if I have like 5 profiles, I can use 2 at a go. So anytime I want to switch from AT to Vodafone, I just
Telecel.
Telecel.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just switch
Wow.
it. I want to switch to MTN. I can just do that.
So it's the same thing with your phone as well?
Yes, I do have. So I have the slot for the physical SIM, and I do have the eSIM. So I'm actually using the eSIM. So you won't see a physical SIM for the eSIM, but my profile is on the device.
And you are
I'm
making
able to
calls
use it
and
as I wish. Yeah. And I have just for the fun of it. I also have a physical SIM of a Telecel as well, so I can decide to play in between to see to do my testing and then
Okay. So Bobby, to add up to what Bessie said, we actually have some of the devices that do not come with physical SIM slot at all.
Yeah.
So iPhone 14, part of them. But then the eSIM comes in.
Yeah.
So once you're able to get your profile, then you are good to go. So
I mean, if you help me out, I mean, let's get in the profile part.
Yes.
I mean, Messi stated that you had to go to the shop if you are new.
A new subscriber. So per the new regulation for new SIM cards, you need to go through a process whereby your biometrics will be taken. But from where I am coming from, existing subscribers, you don't need to go to the office.
Okay.
All you have to do is to download the MTN app.
Yeah.
You put in your details,
Yeah.
then you submit. An agent picks it up and then sends you the profile, engages you, and then your number will be moved strictly onto the eSIM platform.
Okay.
That is if your phone is compatible. So we also have other devices that are both eSIM compatible and then physical SIM. So we talk about Google Pixel, we talk about iPhone 11, 12, 13, 14. We have those types that have both physical and then the eSIM side. So, for instance, you have two MTN numbers, one eSIM, one physical. You are good to go.
Or you have an MTN 80 or MTN Telecel.
80 or Telecel, you have them. But to add up to what Messi stated, your device will have to be compatible.
So how do you check for compatibility?
By dialing *#06#. So once
*#06#.
So once you dial, you're supposed to see EID
on all networks.
On the device. You don't even need
device.
a SIM card in the phone for you to check its compatibility.
So my people are watching.
Okay.
To check the compatibility
of the
whether or not
device.
your device you have,
Yes.
it has to be a smartphone first of all, not a YAM.
Yeah.
You need to know whether or not it can, use the eSIM.
Yes.
You dial *#06# on any device.
And it has to display EID.
Okay.
Because once you dial it, there are various device information that will come.
So you see the EID
So,
barcode
yeah.
is what
The EID, very important.
I don't know which camera I should show it to. So this one,
so
you can see.
We are insisting on the EID because
Let me see
it's not
this
every information that displays that makes it compatible.
Yeah.
You get it. You're
I don't know if you
supposed
can
to see EID. So
Okay.
once you
The
see
same
EID,
Yeah.
then it means your device supports eSIM.
compatible.
Wow.
It's eSIM compatible.
Same here on his phone as well. So all he did was dial what? *#06#.
Yes. So typically, if the phone is not compatible,
Yeah.
that bar will not be there.
The EID bar.
The EID bar will not be there.
Oh.
You would see the EMI, depending on whether it's a dual SIM or not, 1 and 2, and then you'd also
SN.
see a SN as well.
The serial number.
EID will not be
Mm.
part of
Just to
the
add to this,
display.
the eSIM is not only for mobile phones.
Yes.
So
Oh.
where the world is going now, even we have some vehicles that have eSIM embedded in them. We have
Vehicles?
laptops
Yes,
that
smart
have
cards.
Wow.
Internet of Things.
So this is to
This
have
is-
that kind of Internet of Things
Yeah.
going. So that's where the world is. So that we can even connect even at fridges.
Yeah.
We have ovens.
Yeah.
Some of them have eSIMs.
eSIMs.
Some
My
of them have
birthday
vehicles
is
and
coming.
all that.
People can contribute a car with an eSIM in them. But not to catch you. Please go on.
So eSIM is not just relegated to just mobile phones, yeah. So
okay.
that's the direction the SIM is evolving towards.
So just to add
Yeah.
to what he said, actually the whole idea of GSM being pushed to take on the eSIM concept was actually because of machine to machine, which is IoT, what he
Yes,
said,
yes,
communication. The complexity around having a lot of machines intertwined and in various countries having to take out the physical SIMs.
Okay.
And you know, if for instance a network is messing up and you want to do a SIM swap or what do you call it, a porting, for instance, I mean, it's such a cumbersome process.
Yeah.
But then with the eSIM capability, it gives you the flexibility to switch. Right?
Just
because you know the devices are supposed to be switched on all the time, machine to machine. You know, a tracker, a vehicle tracker. You know, even wearables. Right? You just need them to be switched on at all times. So that pushed GSMA to begin to consider the concept and see what security measures can we put in place to make it now commercially viable. So even though Apple had started 2010, it was not until 2016 that GSMA actually gave that approval for go live. You know, but it's been a slow progress because one, the awareness is not there. Two, even the operators who are actually coming live. Last year was when Ghana, for instance, came live with eSIM, right? So across the world, you know, awareness is growing. The most significant push we've seen was in 2022, when Apple boldly,
took off
completely dedicated to eSIM. That was really huge. And now you had friends and family in Ghana who had devices that was purely eSIM. So they're just asking, I mean, because I need to use a device, how am I going to use it? And so now the demand grew significantly from that point. And from now we're going to see more, because now all of us are live with eSIM, as telcos in Ghana, and across the world. It's estimated that the growth will be phenomenal by 2025. We should see like a 3 billion or so profile downloads, across the world. So yes, that's the direction, and we just have to grow.
That's right. But to others, somebody may be thinking, so do I need to go and buy a new device, eSIM compatible before? No, you don't need it. All you have to do is to check if your device is compatible.
But if it's not,
then you have maybe you want
to go and buy a new one.
But I can tell you that most of the devices, especially the Apples, the Samsungs, and then the Google Pixels, Huawei, and then I think Rakuten, they do support. So once you check, and then it is eSIM compatible, you can place the request. Especially for the businessmen that have the merchant SIMs. Maybe he has about 3 merchant numbers on those small young phones. Getting message. No, you don't need it. Once you check and your device is compatible, you place the request. So all the profiles will be installed on your phone nicely. But then, as we stated, it is 2 that will be working at a time. But then maybe you are expecting payment from somebody. You just go and enable the one that will be coming. Then the other one goes off. And then for travelers, those who are traveling, previously those who are traveling have a lot of SIM cards somewhere. By the time you realize your SIM is even missing. But right now, with the evolution of eSIM, you are able to install all your profiles on your phone successfully. So if you get to the US, you just go enable whatever service that you want to use. When you come back to Ghana, you enable whatever service that you want to use. So for eSIM, the advantages for me are enormous. And just like my colleague stated, not necessarily phones, but other wearables, other machines that traditionally wouldn't have supported SIM card. Right now, the manufacturers are embedding the eSIM technology into it, so that we could all enjoy life.
I'd like to add, to what Ban just said.
We'll be taking a break quickly, but
So with regards to even our universities, right? The students end up replacing the SIMs a lot, and so the SIMs get damaged very quickly, or they misplace it. So 2 things can happen. Now, our students on our campuses also have this advantage, and thankfully most of them have got high-end devices which are actually eSIM capable. So instead of constantly going to do a SIM replacement, now you can actually have an eSIM, right? On any of all the networks, including Telecel, right? And then ensuring that capability exists. You don't have to go pay for replacements each and every quarter
switch profiles.
Or every month. You can just switch profiles and use it, right? So this is why university students, as they're listening to us, go get your eSIM and enjoy it.
Okay. So we're going to go for a quick break. Messi, Ban, and Suraj, from Telecel, MTN, and AT respectively, have been, excited about the eSIM conversation. Now they're talking about how, yes, more people will be, down or getting onto the eSIM wave. But what impact does it have on the ecosystem for those who, for example, are producing the physical SIMs? I mean, people might be losing businesses and the likes. And then we'll also talk about the impact of this eSIM phenomena on, our communities and our environments and all that, before we dovetail into the conversation on ESG. But currently we're talking about embedded SIMs. You're watching the Chamber Dialogue live on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. My name is Bobby Osei. Like I said, I'm here with Suraj, Ban, and Messi. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we would have more would unfurl more aspects of the conversation to you.
Ahani now want our children to use the internet to learn. No we be farmers, doctors, lawyers, fishers, traders in a market kahu. Ahani na ye pede ye friends and loved ones who bonkomu ofondo without any interruptions.
Ow, yes, ow. A stable service need to send them mobile money na come our parents to fear.
JT Trot Room or Pedosha Chelsea vs Man City game without missing a moment.
Era mana, onoze nenywa jido bo receive mobile money payments every the customers ho. Pay delay so. Eboze love talks in quoting or po. Obotuma kasa till he sleeps on the phone.
Eyumunyina is made possible because of the red, white, and grey telecommunication towers are our hen communities munti. Them telecommunication towers are ye safe or ho to the benefit of Obiara our community nimo. We are here, the Yabobwa. In case of any emergency biara, and now you see a theft going on, for the Ghana Police Service on 191 and now 18555, Ebotunsa for 0209 222220 and 0242 435629 and now 30 for assistance. So, welcome the telecommunication towers into the approved locations in your neighborhoods so that you can keep connecting to the people and things you love. Message Ghana Institution of Engineering and the Radiation Protection Institute and a endorse. I now want our children to use the internet to learn. No way, Ahani now want our children to use the internet to learn. No we be farmers, doctors, lawyers, fishers, traders in a market kahu. Ahani na ye pede ye friends and loved ones who bonkomu ofondo without any interruptions.
Ow, yes, ow. A stable service need to send them mobile money na come our parents to fear.
JT Trot Room or Pedosha Chelsea vs Man City game without missing a moment.
Era mana, onoze nenywa jido bo receive mobile money payments every the customers ho. Pay delay so. Eboze love talks in quoting or po. Obotuma kasa till he sleeps on the phone.
Eyumunyina is made possible because of the red, white, and grey telecommunication towers are our hen communities munti. Them telecommunication towers are ye safe or ho to the benefit of Obiara our community nimo. We are here, the Yabobwa. In case of any emergency biara, and now you see a theft going on, for the Ghana Police Service on 191 and now 18555, Ebotunsa for 0209 222220 and 0242 435629 and now 30 for assistance. So, welcome the telecommunication towers into the approved locations in your neighborhoods so that you can keep connecting to the people and things you love. Message Ghana Institution of Engineering and the Radiation Protection Institute and a endorse. Ahani now want our children to use the internet.
Hello, welcome back to the Chamber Dialogue, a dialogue series on the channels of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, where we talk about all things telecommunications. And today we are delving into the issue of eSIMs, embedded SIMs, and also the topic of ESG. what that stands for and how important that is. I mean, I have some three wonderful guests here. Suraj from AT, you have Ban from MTN, and then we have Mercy from Telecel. Just giving us a background into the history of eSIMs, the importance of SIMs themselves, and we've been talking about advantages of eSIMs. So I think that's where we left off. I think Suraj, you had some other comments about the advantages of the eSIMs and how they compare to the normal SIMs.
Okay, so for the advantages, I'll classify them into two parts.
Sure.
Two parts. Yeah. One for the customer and one for the company, as in the telco itself.
Okay.
So I'll touch on the customer side first. So for the customer side, it's a convenience. You know, it's as we said earlier, instead of you having multiple SIM cards in your pockets, let's say you are traveling, you know, maybe you are a businessman who actually moved from one country to the other. Yeah. There's no need for you to actually hold these physical SIMs anymore. You can just have the profiles on your phone. So when you reach
London, for
your
example,
destination, you just switch to the London one. When you get to the US, you just switch it. So in terms of convenience, it's good for the customer at that side. And also, one part that I want to touch is also the connectivity as a business. Right? Let's say you have multiple CCTV cameras. Yeah. It means that, let's say you have about 20 CCTV cameras across the country, or let's say 100. Yeah. You need to have physical SIM for each of these CCTV cameras. Okay. So with the advent of these eSIMs, most of the CCTV cameras also comes with eSIM. So what it simply means is that you just need to have these profiles on all of them. So on just sitting in your office, you can actually install it on this CCTV camera. So for the customer side, for the individual customer in the business, it actually makes it easier for them to actually carry these SIM cards. Secondly, you know, when we switch from 3G to 4G, usually customers are supposed to come for us to give them 4G compatible SIM cards. But with this eSIM, we really don't have to do that. So that's the advantage for the telco side. So far as the person have an eSIM compatible phone or a device, they just download the profile and instantly they are hooked to the 4G. Even with 5G, that's how the eSIM have been built. So you really don't have to get a SIM that is compatible to a particular frequency and all that. So this is what I think.
I'd like to add.
Yeah, please do.
You know, for the telco industry, lead times in terms of actually shipping the physical SIM was a real issue. You needed to plan ahead because it would take you no less than 6 weeks.
Wow.
You know, to get
ship from
from outside
production,
from the manufacturer all the way to the country, you know, of use. And all of that is being eliminated, you know, by eSIM.
That's a whole business.
It's
convenient.
It's convenient for us as telcos, right? And then also even for the manufacturers, now all of them are diversifying into, you know, making sure that they're compliant to GSMA because you need to be certified before you can actually produce, you know, be in the production business for eSIMs. So those also offer new opportunities where you have new businesses, you know, going into the eSIM, you know, certification and production, you know, so that, you know, we can have a partnership across the world, and then the profiles can be made available to us securely, you know. So all of that is enormous in terms of the benefits to us, and then environmentally, right? I mean, it's critical that
I was going to come to that, the impact of the transition.
But before we come to the environment, let's look at another aspect of the convenience and then its availability.
Sure.
Okay, of course, we do have our branches all over Ghana. It's obviously not every town, every village that you will have any of the branches over there. So the inception of eSIM at the comfort of your home or your locality, wherever you are, maybe in my hometown, far away in Half-a-Snake, I can just sit at home, place a request. Once I place a request, an agent picks it up. You get it, an agent picks it up, then I'll be engaged. My number will be moved onto my eSIM platform.
So you don't have to move to the office?
I don't need to go to the office.
If you're already a subscriber.
Existing number. So you're saving yourself that transportation, you're saving yourself that inconvenience of sitting in traffic, you're saving yourself coming to wait in the branch and then all those things. So for eSIM, the convenience and then the flexibility of its usage, it's quite enormous. And then I think it's a good thing that we are going towards that direction.
Just to finish off, if you know, just before you came in, we had one of our technicians asking, so what happens when I lose my device?
Yes.
Do I lose my eSIM forever? And I said to him, no. Even with the existing customers, or even with new customers, you always send an email with a QR code, which is in your inbox at any time. It's an email sent to you. So you can, at your own convenience, whether you damage your device or whatever the issue is, actually download the profile on your own without actually going into any office.
So wait, hold on. So I have my phone with my eSIM.
Yes.
Knock on wood, not this phone, and then it gets missing.
Yes.
I don't have another phone. How then do I get my eSIM back?
So you definitely have to purchase a new device, right? So a new device which is eSIM compatible.
Yes.
Now once you have that profile had already been sent to you by your your operator, and it's in your inbox as a QR code. All you do is just scan that QR code, and voila, your profile is back. Yeah.
Wow. On the new device you have.
On the new device. That's all it takes. You know.
And even if you can't even find it in your email, inbox, you can call our call center,
any of the support
give us your details, and we can actually send you the profile.
Send the profile
to you.
After they confirm that you're the one.
You are the one.
You verify.
So the interesting thing about rescanning of the QR code is that for our side, it's limited to only you. You get it. So nobody else cannot rescan, because then there might be the risk that somebody pick it and then rescan it. No. Once it is programmed to you, it is programmed for you and you alone. So nobody else can.
I was going to ask about the roaming aspect. Like you said, sometimes maybe someone who travels between Ghana and Ivory Coast, for example, might have, or maybe they're going there for the first time. Usually when they get there, they will try and they have Orange, for example, they have MTN, they also have, I think the other one is a Move or something. Is it that usually people would go and buy a new SIM, whether Orange, MTN or Move? That's what they would normally do. But if it was eSIM, or your device is eSIM compatible, and you're moving from Ghana, once you get there, what do you do?
Okay. So if you already have an eSIM on your phone, then you get to Ivory Coast. Obviously, you will need a second SIM card. But once you have eSIM, you are not going to remove any SIM card. That eSIM profile is already on your phone. The SIM slot is available for you to add that second
physical SIM.
A physical SIM in it.
But what if you want an eSIM in that country?
So we can.
So it depends on the
we cannot
operator.
speak to what happens, but in Ghana, for instance, when you walk in or when you arrive in Ghana, and then you don't have maybe an MTN SIM or AT or Telecel, the regulator allows you to do a biometric registration before you get a SIM card. So you have to walk, because of the biometrics, you will have to visit the nearest branch with your passport. You go through the SIM registration process. So if your phone supports eSIM, then they are going to give you an eSIM. But if it doesn't support,
then they are going to
give you the physical SIM. You get it.
Great.
So
now,
in addition to this, you can also roam. We have roaming services. So if you are actually roaming, let's say on AT and you go to Ivory Coast, it still works just like the way you were using your old SIM card.
They're using their Telecel there as well.
So there are no differences. You can actually be in Ivory Coast without actually having Ivory Coast SIM, and you still roam and then still enjoy.
Interesting. Now let's talk about this shift to the eSIM and its impact. We've spoken about the fact that the lead times, for acquiring, these eSIMs, the travel times and all of that. What's the impact, of eSIMs? I mean, is there a significant impact when you compare the eSIMs to the physical SIMs?
Impacts as in, is it on the environment?
Yes. The transition we've done. What benefits, has it come for the environment?
It's giving us convenience and then flexibility of switching between various services to the other. When it comes to the environmental, it's of great service. For the physical SIM, you need plastics. You get it? They need plastics. They need packaging. So
they come to
packaging and then disposal of the starter packs here and there.
A lot of waste.
With eSIM, you don't have that. Then we look at emission, maybe carbon. moving the SIM card maybe from the harbor to our various warehouses, from the warehouses to our various service centers.
Wow.
Emission. But with eSIM, you are not going to do any transportation. So emission is curtailed on that aspect. I hope you understand that. So we are also, in a way, helping to have a very sustainable environment. Zero impact when it comes to that aspect.
It's estimated that about 46% of reduction of carbon emission as a result of the introduction of eSIMs.
Wow.
Yeah, so based on the whole journey, from production, plastics eliminated, to distribution, to the various touch points, to be able to serve customers. All of that is estimated around 46%
reduction.
Yes, and as we go into, say, 2025, it's estimated that about 98 operators are going to be using eSIMs. 98% of operators are going to use eSIMs. Now, if that's going to happen,
are you sure?
Imagine, this is
2025.
estimated.
We will get there.
So this, in Ghana, for instance, all of us came on board last year.
Yes.
Other countries.
2021.
Oh yeah.
Okay. 2021 for MTN.
All right.
Yes.
So other countries are on the same journey.
Yes.
And then it's estimated that by 2025. 98% of operators across the world would have that capability of serving customers who have eSIM capable devices. So you'd see that the dimension will shift significantly. Yeah, so these are things that
and if the device producers also follow the line of the iPhone to the line.
That's happening. iPhone started this whole story 2010.
Yeah.
However, today, if you look at the trajectory, Samsung has 26 devices that are eSIM compatible. They have actually overtaken iPhone. Right.
Wow.
So it's not even in their high-end phone
it's
only.
not.
It's even in the mid-range too as well.
So it's very strategic for even the device manufacturers, and it's in the interest of all of us as humanity, to drive the agenda of eSIMs, right? Because it's saving our environment.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I mean, I'll just give you an opportunity. If someone wants to get the eSIM, where can they get it? We'll start with ATM, MTN, and Telecel. How do they get it on your networks?
So for now, if you are a new customer, you have to walk in to our shops.
Yeah.
And before you do that, you have to dial *#06# to check whether your phone is compatible. You see, when you dial that, you see EID, which shows that your phone is compatible.
Okay.
You walk into any of our shops with your Ghana card.
Yeah.
You do go through the biometric registration, and you get your profile and you download it onto your phone.
Simple.
If you're an existing subscriber, currently we are now building a portal for that. But so you just have to walk into any of our shops. But that one you don't have to actually pick all your biometrics.
Yes, because you already
yourself. So you just go in there, you just do a SIM replacement with the profile for you, and then you're done.
Great, awesome.
It's a very simple and very seamless process.
Simple for MTN.
Okay, for MTN, we are here to make our customers' life a whole much more richer and then easier. So for new subscribers, per the regulatory requirement, you will have to go to the office with your Ghana card or your passport for foreigners. You go through the verification process. We share the QR code with you. Then we activate the number for you for a new subscriber. But for the old existing subscribers, you download my MTN app. We have the eSIM request on it. Once you go to eSIM request, you fill in your details, your ID card, you holding your ID, your email address, your phone number, and then your alternative number. You submit it, an agent will pick it up and then engage you from the time you put in the request to 72 hours. In fact, we are doing over 99% of our eSIM requests are being done online. So the agent picks up the request, engages you, and then validates that you are the true owner. The QR code is shared with you while you are on call or through email. Then it is activated for you. Very simple. Great.
So that's ATM,
MTN,
and then Telecel.
All right. So in Telecel also we do make available your eSIMs for the first time coming onto the network. You have to go through the biometric registration, as all of us have said, because it's regulatory. You do pick it up. I mean, you do that in the shops. For replacements or for existing
Yes,
the existing
yes.
customers. Also, you do the same in the shops. It will be in our app very shortly.
Yes,
so watch
yes,
out
yes.
for the space. The good thing with us is that you actually get the SIM. I mean, the eSIM is free of charge. We don't
Okay.
charge for the profile.
Okay.
Added to that, just to make
the
your
same
life
thing.
The same for 18.
enjoying
It's
you
all free.
you also on Telecell, you also get a total of 15 gig of data
Okay, so there are
with
some-
60 minutes. You get so much benefits just being on an
Okay,
eSIM.
so
Yeah.
I mean, just for clarity,
Yeah.
I mean, when they're on the chamber, platform, we talk, industry, just industry. Nobody, goes into their own corner. So just this little break, people are, it's all good, it's all good. So now,
Right.
I mean, back to the conversation. But like they said, I mean, you can either, go into their shops or, download their apps, and then, you can get access to it. If you are existing, if you're new, you definitely need to walk into their shops to be able to go through the process to get access to the eSIM if your device is eSIM compatible. Now we're wrapping up. We're about to finish, and before a few minutes ago we were talking about how the transition to the eSIMs is impacting positively on the environment,
Yeah.
and that brings me, to the conversation on ESG, environment, social, and governance. Now, I know this is a concept that's a bit new even around the world, but I mean, now that I have you here, I'm sure it will be important to hear your thoughts on ESG as, should I say, a framework for businesses. I mean, the literature when I read, they're talking about how even investments going down the line will be looked through the ESG lens going down. I mean, I don't know if that's happening here. Over here, we are talking corporate social responsibility. That's what we know. We build something here, we give some money here, we pay for some the scholarships and the likes. But what are your thoughts on the ESG concept? Is it a reality in Ghana, in Africa, or are we only playing around the E aspect? If you can touch on that, I'll be very grateful.
I think it's early days,
Yes, yes.
for where we are, where we sit today. However, I mean, that said, we've talked about eSIMs typically, which speaks directly to the environment. We talked about 46% reduction, in emission, carbon emission alone. So that is a significant contributory factor. Again, on the environment, I mean, if you come to our cell sites, we are very conscious about solar, solar energy, how we consume energy. Even in our offices, we are, switching lights off automatically and the like. So all of these have a focus on ESG by way of environment. We are strategic around how we deliver this, even as an industry, and then, to speak to Telecell specifically. So there are significant strides, we're making on the environment aspect. On the social aspect also, I mean, in terms of even the engagement as far as employees are concerned. I mean, we do it, but because regulatory wise, these are, metrics that are not measured currently. But however, in our telco, we are very clear, on how, both on the environment, the social, and then on the government side.
The governance side,
governance side, we are focused on delivering, the agenda. Even though, like I said, regulatory-wise, there are no metrics measuring them today.
Measuring ESG, it's the same across the world.
Yes. So it's a journey. I think we are strong on the environment, as a country and as an industry.
Yes.
There's still more room, in terms of the social and
the governance aspect of the ESG. Great, awesome.
Okay. So for we at MTN, we are much more concerned about our environment.
Yes, sir.
So everything that we are doing, we are looking at how it's going to impact our environment. We are assessing the impact. So everything that we are doing in terms of energy consumption, are we going to change our bulbs? Are we going to change our energy consumption so that we have positive impact on the environment? Just like my colleague said about eSIM. So right now, there's no more wastage. Selling of SIM cards, manufacture of SIM cards. So everything, it's around, the business is thinking about how sustainable the environment will be. When it comes to the social aspect, I mean, you're looking at giving back to the society. What really comes to mind is the recent commissioning of the hospital, the maternity block.
Then
just last week, a technological center was also delivered to the Manfi girls.
So not to catch you.
And then we look at governance. Let me talk a bit about the governance. So we are also leading in terms of governance. Everything that we are doing, we are making sure that it's in line with what the regulator is looking for.
So for ESG
step in the SIM registration, we have to comply fully and make sure that per the regulation, all the SIM cards are properly registered in line with.
So I think like Messi was saying, I mean, it's still early days yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, efforts are being made. Like as an industry, we're all working. I mean, I know at the chamber, we're trying to find ways by which like renewable energy will be taken up. By not just our industry but other industries as well. So it's a conversation we are looking to have with the players within the value chain. As an industry, we are always ready to invest if we get the needed support from government and the likes to ensure that how we use energy, how we manage our waste, all of this impacts positively on the environment. So I mean, the last word to you.
Yeah. So the last part I want to add, even though I know the topic is more concentrated on eSIM.
Yes.
When it comes to the environment, I realize that for some past few years now, we've all switched from the scratch card to fully electronic.
That's true.
So that's also having a positive impact on the environment because we don't print cards anymore and all that. So that is the addition I'll add to the environment side.
Yes.
And then when it comes to the social side too, we at AT, we strive to have an inclusive environment where we have a lot of women in the leadership positions. We make sure that we are not biased in terms of the gender balance,
diversity and all of that.
In the governance side, we also try as much as possible to make sure that customer data information is
minimizing risks
and all that. So and I'm sure it also happens in
the other
protection.
So as she said, it's early days yet.
Yes.
But we are actually implementing most of these ESG goals.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much. I mean, I'm so happy that you're the three of you. This is the first time we've actually had three, from all the networks for a very powerful discussion. So if you're at home and you're watching, it's been a pleasure hosting Suraj, Ban, and Mercy from AT&T and Telecom respectively to talk about eSIMs, the importance of SIMs within the mobile telephony ecosystem, the relevance of eSIMs, how different they are from actual SIMs, and even the impact on the environment. And then we topped it off with a conversation on ESG. I mean, we'll find time to focus on ESG proper, some other time. But you can use the opportunity to also learn about it, ESG, and how businesses across the world are trying to factor that into their culture, to ensure that they impact or they make socially responsible moves, as businesses. So basically, that's it for today's edition of the Chamber Dialogue. Many thanks for watching. And it'll be on our Facebook and YouTube channels if you want to rewatch it. But we are truly grateful. So thank you so very much. I don't know if you have any final words on behalf of the industry. You have any final words? Thank you can be fine. I'm okay with thank you to be here.
Okay.
But I'm so happy
just to emphasize, the opportunities we have, as an industry on eSIMs.
Yes.
I think the awareness, the creation of the awareness, this is a good platform, but making people aware that this wonderful opportunity exists, you don't have to go, because if you look across most of our channels, if you look at the footfalls that come into our physical retail shops, I mean, a good percentage, over 50% is actually on replacements, right? And I mean, once the customers are aware that actually I can cut down on my cost by actually having a compatible device and then having an eSIM. Plus the benefits I already mentioned.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's a bonus. I mean, you should choose,
the eSIM. No, so you choose AT&T and Telecom.
Yes, you should choose the eSIM, right? As a priority. So that would be my call.
Great.
For all who are watching, get an eSIM.
An eSIM. It helps the environment. And it reduces your time.
Exactly.
I'm very grateful, all of you. Thank you so very much.
I'm very grateful. I thought we were going around.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
For MTN, you don't have to visit the branch. You just go onto my MTN app you download it, and then you place your request. You don't have to go to the branch.
Okay.
Somebody picks
So let's make it a fair ground. Yes.
So for 80, the eSIM is free as well.
Great, awesome.
It's
So
free, yeah.
it's free as well. So you just have to walk into our shops.
Beautiful.
And you get your SIM seamlessly.
Beautiful. We are like siblings. We fight a little bit, but we all play within the same play. But thank you so much for watching, and do enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll catch you on the next edition of the Chamber Dialogue right here on the Facebook and YouTube channels of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hey, my people.
Ahene nyinaa want our children to use the internet to learn. Na wenyina be farmers, doctors, lawyers, fishers, traders in a market ho. Ahene nyinaa ye pede yenye friends and loved ones who bonkomu ofondo without any interruptions.
Ow, yes, ow. A stable service netuma send them mobile money na come our parents to fear.
JT Trot Room opedosha Chelsea vs Man City game without missing a moment.
Era mana, onoze nenywa jido obo receive mobile money payments every the customers ho. Pay delay so. Eboze love talks in quoting or po. Obotuma kasa till he sleeps on the phone.
Eyimu nyinaa is made possible because of the red, white, and grey telecommunication towers are our hen communities munti. Them telecommunication towers are safe or to the benefit of obiara our community nimo. We are here, the Yabobwa. In case of any emergency biara, and now you see a theft going on, for the Ghana Police Service on 191 and now 18555, Ebutunsa for 0209 222220 and 0242 435629 and now 30 for assistance. So, welcome the telecommunication towers into the approved locations in your neighborhoods so that you can keep connecting to the people and things you love. Message Ghana Institution of Engineering, and the Radiation Protection Institute and a wire endorse.